Don't buy that picks package or all access. Wait, what? Yep, don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. It is Wednesday. Teddy covers, like always, sitting with me on the show, and we've got a real good show lined up for you. Dave Cokin coming on right off the top. He's going to talk Reds and Indians. We're going to look at the Hurricanes-Rangers game. That's game one in their NHL series, and a little bit of PGA talk. Nick Borrman coming up after that. And it's going to be all PGA talk with Nick Borrman and Kelly Stewart at the end of the show, where she will look at the NBA. Teddy, you got a big game breakdown going. But before we get into that, how did your night go last night? And then we'll talk about my total disaster.
I split last night. I lost in MLB. The MLB's been a bit of a struggle the last week or so, which is unfortunate because the NBA's been great. We cashed again with Miami last night. It was a weird scenario, Prez. I don't recall. I mean, it happens every once in a while that you make a bet that you want to win. There's a bet for me, a bet for my clients on Miami. But there were fringe benefits if I'd have lost that bet. It's a weird rooting scenario because I had Miami for myself and my clients, and the Celtics hit everything in the first half. You know, they were hitting shots, crazy shots. Miami opened up the second half with a 22-2 run in the third quarter, and it changed the game completely, and they cruised thereafter. So you can't complain about a winning bet. But if Miami had lost that game, all right, they hadn't put together I was thinking in the first half, I'm like, man, I'm going to come back with the Heat. Large game two. I'd have a 5% big ticket on the Heat in game two. Now I have to think about it. So we'll take the winner from last night. But every once in a while, you get a scenario where if your bet loses, you end up with a better one the next time out. That's how my night went, Prez. I'm sorry you had a rough one.
Oh my God, Teddy. I'm just, dude, like, you know, in all, one thing about hockey, unlike any other sport really, is a team can completely and totally dominate a game and lose. That just cannot happen in football. It
happens in all kinds of other. I'm going to disagree right off the bat. All right. No. In baseball, I talk on the and of course you're going to disagree. Prez, in what did bettors learn? Yesterday, I was talking about how the Cincinnati Reds threw a no-hitter and lost the game. Okay, It happens. In football, you see it all the time where a team has a 300-yard edge, but they turn the ball over 5 times, either in their own territory or right when they're going to score, and the other team ends up winning the game. So it happens in other sports. I had a 5% on the T-Wolves in that game against Memphis. They had a 20-point lead in the first half. They had a 26-point lead in the second half. They lose the game. It happens.
Yeah, well, then they did not dominate the whole game
and lose.
Then they only dominated the first half. Teddy, obviously, a team can put up 400 yards and then turn the ball over 3 times and lose the game. That's not dominating a game. That's making 3 crucial mistakes that allowed the other team to score. Last night in the Colorado-St. Louis Blues game, Colorado hit the goalpost 5 times. They missed 2 empty nets because they missed the puck. They mishit the puck. Last night's Colorado-St. Louis game was one of the most lopsided, was the single most lopsided game of the playoffs. And Colorado lost. I was on them as a 5% in regulation. And they were up 2-1 with 3.5 minutes to go in the bloody game and lost. It was just, I was just utterly gutted last night. And I also lost my NBA play. I lost my other NHL play. Last night was a disaster for me. And I don't take this stuff well, Teddy. You know that, man. I ended up till 3:30 in the morning, just livid. I mean, I was just completely pissed off. And that was my first real bad day in ages. I've been rolling in NHL since December. But I will say this. I went 0-2 the second night of the playoffs this year in hockey, and then I ran 6-7 in a row. Last night I went 0-2, and I'm really hoping the exact same thing happens again. You want to say something?
No, I was just yesterday when we were doing the show, you had all these points about how good St. Louis was, and I was St. Louis was better at this, and St. Louis was better than that than Colorado. I'm just surprised. I didn't realize you had a 5% on Colorado when you were talking about all that great stuff, like the stats don't have it wrong, and St. Louis is better at this and that. I'm curious now in terms of the process, because as you were talking yesterday, you were like, Blues are clear the value team. Was that just kind of throwing people off, or what was that about?
Well, no, it was because we were talking about that particular game, and I was just pointing out some stuff to Dave Sherapan. My attitude is, Teddy, and I wrote this in the analysis, I don't think Colorado is the best team in hockey right now. I think that they are the best team ever. I don't think there is one team that has ever laced their skates up that could beat this Colorado Avs team over 7 games. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens with Guy Lafleur. I don't think the Edmonton Oilers with Wayne Gretzky. I don't think the New York Islanders with Mike Bossy. I don't think the Penguins with Lemieux or Crosby. I don't think Tampa Bay, the 2-time world champs. I don't think any team is better than Colorado. And I think Colorado is changing hockey as we see it. They are playing. There are other teams copying Colorado's style. Now, John Cooper from the Tampa Bay Lightnings kind of started this new style of hockey where the teams are playing in a 5-man unit and the defense and the offense are interchangeable and they're all cycling instead of just the 3 guys cycling. The way Colorado has taken John Cooper's game and enhanced it, the way they attack the offensive zone, I have never seen anything like it in my life. So for however good St. Louis might be, they are not the Colorado Avalanche. And it played out last night because Colorado completely dominated that game. Anyway, Gio knows Prez is drunk. Avs are not the best ever. I'm okay with that. We all have opinions. Yours just happens to be wrong. Anyway, Teddy, I got a quick story for you all. I told it on Puck Time. So if you guys have been watching the show for a while, I have this Playboy magazine, and it is from my birthday, which happens to be this Sunday, May 22nd, but that Playboy magazine is from 1969. So I showed it. I have a stepson. He's 13 years old. When he was 11, I showed him the Playboy, and he was like, blah, 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 blah. So last night he walks downstairs, and in front of my daughters and his mother and me, no joke, he turned to me and he said, Lawrence, do you think I can borrow that Playboy? I can really use it now. I couldn't use it when I was 11, but I could use it now. Oh, my God. Like, what do you even say to that? That's what you're about to get into, Teddy, with your awesome boy, Isaac. Anyway, that's my story.
Was that story supposed to be interesting or funny in any way? Because I don't get it.
Teddy. Dave Cokin joining us. Dave, did you watch the Avs game last night?
Yeah, it was phenomenal, and Binnington was just incredible. He channeled this. He channeled this inner Ottinger. He was just great. Binnington had quite a run a few years ago when the Blues won the Cup. Look, today's players are better than they've ever been. So,
well, yes.
Same holds true in any sport. But relative to its time frame, you're saying a team that's never won, that has no Stanley Cups, is better than teams that won 4 in a row.
No, dude. I just think based on how good they are as athletes, without question, the Montreal Canadiens with Lafleur and Gainey and Robinson and Schott and Tremblay and Dryden and net. I mean, in their time, that was the best team.
That's how you compare. I mean, it always cracks me up when people talk about the best NBA team ever. Well, relative to its time frame, it's the Celtics of the '60s. No one's ever going to top that.
Yeah,
they won every freaking year. Okay, now if you took that Celtics team and put them on the floor today, they get beat by 80 points. I mean, the game and the athlete.
I know.
So I'm not.
I know.
If
you're right.
Okay. Yes, I am.
You're right, Dave. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I think the Colorado Avs could beat any team ever assembled.
Well,
and they can.
First, let's see if they can beat the teams that are currently assembled right now, because they haven't exactly been stalwart playoff teams the past couple of years. And it's a good thing they won last night, because they go down 0-1 and the pressure really starts to build. They've been a bad second-round team. I mean, they were better than the Golden Knights last year. The Golden Knights knocked them out.
Yep.
I forget who knocked them out. I forget who knocked them out 2 years ago. Anything can happen in the NHL playoffs, and that is the one thing to me that differentiates the NHL from other leagues. It's just the least predictable in terms of seeing huge upsets. Now, we might not see any more this season, but I mean, the games have been incredible, and I'm not really following the NBA, but the NBA is, let's say, lagging behind in the tension department as far as the playoffs this year are concerned.
Yeah. Dave Cokin joining us. Dave, we got a lot to talk to you about. Let's start with the baseball game you want to discuss, Cincinnati versus Cleveland.
Yeah.
How you betting this game?
Well, you won't hear me saying this too often, but I like the Reds. I only like them first five. I won't bet them full game, but they're actually hitting better than the Guardians right now. The Guardians are so reliant on Jose Ramirez, and if he's not rolling, the rest of the team isn't either. Cleveland's starting pitching, which looked like a strength going into the season, hasn't been a strength. Bieber looks like a shell of what he was when he won the Cy Young. His velocity's down. He doesn't have much snap on the slider. McKenzie's still inconsistent, although he's actually been pretty good. Quantrill, who's pitching today, has not been good. Plesac has not been good. Savali has not been good. They've got some issues. Malley seems to be rounding into form. His control's always a bit of a question, but when he's throwing the ball where he wants, he can be really tough. I think there's an edge with the Reds early on here with Malley against Quantrill. I made Malley the favorite over Quantrill. And the Reds' offense actually outperforming Cleveland's over the past week. So first five, I took it at plus 107. I think it might have moved a little bit, but I did take first five plus 107 with the Reds. Not a big play, but I think it's a decent investment.
So, Dave, I want to ask you about Cincinnati as more generally. You know, this is a team that started 2-2, then they went 1-20, and since then they have a winning record and they've been profitable to back. Do you think that after a team goes 1-20 and then they have a little hot streak, that there could be value moving forward with a team like Cincy, or is this a one-shot dealio with the Reds and we're not looking for spots to get on Cincinnati right now?
I know I say this over and over again. I do one day at a time. I couldn't give a shit. If you're asking me what I think's going to happen in July, I don't care. I don't know. I only care about what's happening on Thursday, or no, it's Wednesday. I'm so used to being on Thursdays. There's a special reason I'm on Wednesday, which we'll tell you about. But that's all I care about is today. I'll worry about tomorrow and anything else when it shows up. I'm a one-day handicapper. The only exceptions are in football, college football, and the NFL to some extent, where scheduling dynamics do have to be factored in. We get look-ahead or sandwich spots and things like that, so you do have to look aside from just 1 week. But in daily sports, I'm basically looking at just one day, and I don't care about trends or anything else.
Dave, Teddy, it's funny. I got a question for you guys. I mean, all of us have been doing this for 30, 40 years. The most common question I get when I tell people what I do for a living is, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Who's going to win the NBA championship? I have no freaking idea. Teddy, is that like, Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only question I get when I leave town is who's going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to win the Super Bowl. I say, I don't care who's going to win the Super Bowl. Give me a point spread, and I'll tell you who's going to cover the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
And Dave,
Exactly.
we probably
that is the standard question that professional bettors get when they meet people that aren't betting at that level is who's going to win whatever title or whatever sport they're interested in.
My stock answer to that is I'll let you know when I know which two teams are participating.
Yeah.
Because outside of that,
exactly.
I don't know, and I don't bet NFL futures, so that's my answer to that.
Dave, let's turn our attention to hockey. Carolina, New York Rangers. First game of the series. Carolina finds themselves favored at minus 165. The over and under is 5.5 in this game. Shesterkin really did not look good against Pittsburgh at all. This is a whole new series and a chance for him to sort of write his narrative. How you betting this game?
Well, I'm not going to bet this game, but I do want to talk about it. I want to see if the Rangers have kind of a free roll attitude coming in here. Because, and bear in mind, I had the Rangers series against Pittsburgh, and I cashed it. Boy, was I lucky. Because they weren't the better team in that series. Okay? They were not the better team in that series. They were not the better team in Game 7. And they happened to get away with a win. There was a couple of things that went their way as far as calls are concerned. They're on a free roll. They should be playing golf right now. Penguins should be the team playing Carolina. And sometimes teams on a free roll, they just get going because it's like, now there's no pressure on us. Let's go out and have fun. The expectations are now on Carolina. They're pretty good-sized favorites to win this series. And they are playing very well. But I don't read all that much into the win over the Bruins because I think the Bruins were a very flawed team. They had one great line, and that's what they had. And Carolina won their 4 home games and got through it. I think Carolina's too good for the Rangers, but I want to see what happens tonight because the Rangers steal this game. They could get on a roll in this series and pull an upset. So I think Carolina wins. I'm definitely not in the mood to lay 165 to find out if I'm right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little PGA Championship golf with another major this weekend. Right. Dave, why don't you give us some thoughts about A, what you got going over at WagerTalk.com, and B, who you think, who you want to talk about in terms of the PGA Championship?
Well, for those who have my all access packages, you know that I mostly play prices. I'm not on favorites very often. You know, I'm looking for 40 to 1, 50 to 1, even sometimes a lot larger than that. But in majors, I'm looking at the chalk. The best players win the majors for the most. You get an upset now and then, but they don't happen that often. And I forget how many years it goes back. In this event, the PGA, it's like 20 years or something. It might be more than that. The winner has been a top 50 player. So there's not a lot of shocks here. Now, there's not much course form to go at here because there's no history on this course. There was a senior event here last year, but they played from shorter tees, so it's tough to really get anything out of that. But what I do know is it's a difficult course, which favors the best players. And there's a good chance there's going to be a lot of wind. And that favors players who can create a low ball flight and avoid the travails of the wind. Well, Jon Rahm is about as good as it gets in terms of low ball flight. So he's a guy I think has a great chance to win this week. Scotty Scheffler, I backed him in the Masters. I'm certainly backing him again because he's the best player on the planet right now. So I'm not going for price this week. I'm not going for value, and there is none. But I took 12 to 1 and 14 to 1 on the two best players. I know there's a lot of support for Rory McIlroy, but Rory McIlroy has a very high ball flight, and I think that could be an issue if the winds are what they're projected to be over the weekend. So boring stuff from me, but I made 2 1% plays on Rahm and Scheffler, and I think I've got a good chance to cash one of them.
Dave Cokin, awesome stuff, man. What do you have up today for your clients?
I got a big play. and they're ultra rare for me. I've only had 5% plays so far in 2022. They're 4-1. I think one of those was in hockey. Ralph dug this stat up. NHL, for me, the last 21 months, I've only had 5% plays, and they all won. So I just love this play tonight. It is a 5% selection, and I'll let you know how good it was after the final scores posted. But obviously, feel very strongly about it. And, we'll see if we get it there.
Awesome stuff, Dave. Good luck on that 5%. Guys, if you're looking for one play to bet today, that is the play. Dave Cokin's 5%er. Teddy covers. We're going to take a quick break. You got your big game breakdown. Nick Borrman is chomping at the bit. We still have Kelly Stewart in the daily presidential address. Everyone, stay with us. Hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel. We love you all.
Stop. Don't buy that picks package or all access. Wait, what? Yep. Don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk some afternoon baseball. Early start MLB in Denver, Colorado. Look at the Giants and the Rockies. This game is a 12:10 Pacific time / 3:10 Eastern time start. So it is early start action today on Wednesday. Right now, the Giants, looking at that WagerTalk live odds screen, they're about minus 155, minus 160. Road chalk, total sitting at 11 for this ball game. And look, I'm a guy that sometimes overanalyzes things. It's my biggest weakness as a handicapper is thinking too much about this stuff. Sometimes you just look at the low-hanging fruit, and the low-hanging fruit is real simple. All right, temperatures in the 80s, winds blowing out. The Giants are slugging the ball like crazy. They're 8-2 to the over the last 10. They've scored 6 or more 8 times during that span. The ball is carrying at Coors. Look at this homestand for Colorado. 14-10, 10-4, 8-7, 7-6, 10-7. That's the losing team scoring 6 runs or more 4 times, and the winning team scoring 7 runs or more in every game. They're getting up and over the total day in, day out. I don't care about the starting pitching matchups. Both bullpens are worn down. And look, Kyle Freeland has been he got lit up last time out. Logan Webb doesn't necessarily have a great track record against Colorado, and he's got a ton of run support this season. But the bottom line is this. When the ball's flying at Coors, when the ball's carrying at Coors, you bet over every time they play until proven otherwise. Now, it is worth noting, Rockies have a day off tomorrow. On Friday, they start a series against the Mets. By the opening pitch of that game, you know what's in the 80s today? It's going to be in the 40s. So this stretch for Colorado of overs may well end after today. Let's ride it one last time. Rockies and the Giants over 11. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers. Teddy, one of our listeners put up in the chat room, and I can't find it right now, but it was basically a poll that talked about whether the poll of the day, does Teddy hate the Prez? Who the hell was that?
That was, it sounds like they're working. Yeah, it's not over the air.
Oh,
We heard it, but they didn't hear it. But that was
yeah.
Kelly
You want to talk about that?
Do I want to talk about that?
Yeah. You hate me, bro?
Hate is a very strong word. Prez, I've known Prez for 20 years. He's fine. We're fine. But he annoys the crap out of me every day. Every day. So no, I don't hate Prez. I don't hate him. Unless he's giving me COVID, then I hate him. But other than that, he's mostly fine.
Oh, and
he's
you
okay.
did hate on me. Oh my God, the
I was
hate
so
on
mad.
me.
That's as mad as I've ever been at you.
Dude, you literally said to me, Prez, I don't think I can do the show with you anymore.
That's how mad I was at you.
Okay, come on in, Kel. Jump in. You want to add to this?
Yeah, but Nick's up next.
Okay, Kel, we're not ready for you. We will bring you in and we will start with that conversation, okay? Tell V Mears. Of course, Teddy really hates the Prez. He's a Leaf fan. Okay. Well, now that we've established that Teddy and I are fine, he considers me fine. We're going to Nick. Then we'll bring Kelly in and she'll add to the conversation. Nick Borrman, everybody, the single best golfer at WagerTalk.com, the best golfer I know, period. A scratch golfer at that. Do you play a lot still, Nick?
Not with kid number 2, 9 months old. No, I don't play nearly as much as I want to anymore. But we're still out there. We try. You know, it's all about you got to time the daycare. Get them in daycare. You got a couple hours, and you got to go pick them up.
One of the highlights of my entire hosting was when we were doing a show with Nick Borrman, and his wife did not realize he was on air. Walks into the room and says, "Nick, it's time. I'm ovulating."
I got up real quick, didn't I?
You did, Nick, and then you were back even quicker. But
very quickly, I was back. I said, "Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back."
Yeah, literally, Carm spoke about a game, and you were back already. Nick, you gave us outright winners on the show for the Masters with Scotty Scheffler at plus 1,800. A lot of pressure for you again here. You got to do it again, man. You got to come on WagerTalk today and lay out another outright winner. Who is it going to be?
Well, listen, if you're back in Scotty Scheffler again, I'm not going to argue against you. I heard Dave talking about it, and he's right. He's the best player in the world. But I'll go slightly further down the board on Patrick Cantlay, who admittedly doesn't have the best major results, but he's a very, very, very good player. He screwed me a few times in the past, but I'm going to forget that. He's a guy that rides momentum better than anyone. Last year in the fall for the FedEx Cup, the 3 events, he went tied for 11th, then first to win the FedEx Cup. This year, to start the season, he went on a burst of 4th, 9th, tied for 4th, and 2nd, and he had a legit chance to win all 4 tournaments. Just couldn't quite do it. And then now he's coming in with a runner-up in his 2 starts ago at the RBC Heritage. He lost in a playoff to Jordan Spieth. And then he won in the last event, the partner event with Xander Schauffele. So he's coming in with a runner-up and a first in his last 2. So he rides momentum, like I said, better than anyone. Another reason I like him is there's no real weakness in his game. He's got positive stroked gains numbers on all 5 categories that they measure. 17th off the tee, 17th around the green, 18 tee to green, 27th putting, and he sits at 10th on the tour in scoring average. So Cantlay's got no weaknesses. His game should play this week. I expect him there with a chance on Sunday.
So what's the expression in golf? Drive for show, putt for dough. You can make a comparable argument to picking the winners, the outright winners, versus the other ways to attack betting the PGA, whether it's matchups, whether it's leaderboard betting. Besides your choices to win the PGA outright, what's another way you're going to be attacking betting this tournament?
Good question. That's usually leaderboard bets for me. Of course, you have matchups, but I'll specifically talk about leaderboard bets, which are top 10s, top 20s. Outright betting is hard. You need a lot of luck to go your way. In fact, 4 of the last 5 tournaments for me, I had the guy either runner-up or finishing tied for 3rd that all had a chance at with a lead on Sunday, but couldn't quite do it. So usually I'll back up an outright with a leaderboard bet, like a play like a top 10 or top 20. Specifically, this week I'm looking at Shane Lowry, top 20. Paying plus 140 right now. If you made this bet in Lowry's last 9 stroke play tournaments, you would have cashed 8 of them. And the only time he didn't finish in the top 10, he was tied for 24th, so he was right there. He's coming off back-to-back tie for 3rds at the Masters and the RBC Heritage. And one of my favorite parts about his game is he is a short game wizard. At a major, everybody's going to miss greens. Because the course is set up par. Everybody's going to struggle a little bit, but saving par is more important than making birdie. So he ranks number 2 in sand saves, number 2 in scrambling, and number 13 in strokes gained putting this year. And if you're looking at those shots into the green, he ranks number 1 on tour in proximity to the whole season. So I think we'll see Lowry with a good chance to win, but a real safe bet is to take him top 20. That's still a plus price, plus 140 right now.
Nick Borrman, everyone, unbelievable golfer, a golf pro as well, and a man who just kills it betting the sport. Nick, let's talk Tiger, plus 7,500 to win. He did a press conference yesterday, and he said he felt great. He said he thinks he can win. Let's talk about whether he can even make the cut. What do you think?
So I took Tiger to make the cut at the Masters, and the reason for that
I agree with that, 100%.
He's never missed it in his professional career.
Yeah.
He knows the course better than anybody,
Yep.
right? So here you got a PGA Championship at a course that doesn't get played very often. Now, they did have the PGA here in 2007, and he won a long time ago, obviously. But it's not a course he knows nearly as well as Augusta. So I'm worried here for him, and I actually took a little bit of piece of him to miss the cut this week. I hope I'm wrong, to be honest, because I love Tiger, and I want to see him play with a chance to win, and so does all of the sports world. But I think the smart money here is that he misses the cut. When he did make the cut at the Masters, he really fell off the last 2 days. He has more time to get ready for this since that Masters, and it's good that he's feeling well. But I'm just not putting my money there. I read yesterday, actually, BetMGM said they have so much money on Tiger right now. If he wins, it'll be their single biggest losing day in the history of sports betting at the casino. Pretty remarkable stuff. Just shows you how much public still loves that guy. And I guess we've all learned that maybe fading the public sometimes can be some smart money. So I hope you make the cut, Tiger. But money says it's not going to happen this week.
What's behind you?
This is golf paraphernalia, memorabilia. I got
So you're in your house? Clubs. That's your stuff?
This is at the club. So I got old sets of clubs. We got pictures from the club was built in the 1800s. So I mean, there's a lot of old stuff here, but it's awesome. It's like we have museum rooms. It's great.
Awesome stuff, Nick Borrman. Everyone, what do you got to promote? And then it's Kelly Stewart time.
PGA Championship Tournament pack is up on my page at WagerTalk.com. Normally priced at $39. You can use promo code PGA20, save $20, get it for just $19, which does include a 5% play. I've only released 3 this entire year, so they're rare here in golf. So normally that's priced at $35 alone. You can get that included with the entire pack, full 4 days, $19, promo code PGA20.
Awesome stuff. Guys, Nick Borrman, everyone, exclusive handicapper over at WagerTalk.com, and an outstanding bettor in both golf and soccer. 25 more likes if you want a daily presidential address. Let's go, everyone. Kelly Stewart, you have something to add. In the middle of the segment, you were laughing. You're ready, chomping at the bit. So, does Teddy hate the Prez? That was the question.
He said to log in at 12:30, so I logged in and I thought, I had a couple minutes to go. I didn't know you guys could hear me, so I did laugh when I heard Teddy. It's because Teddy, okay, how do I explain this? We all love Teddy. We all love Prez in their own ways. You guys are just so different. That's what makes this show a hilarious dichotomy. Do I think Teddy hates you? No, of course not. He wouldn't want to work with you every single day. There's no way anybody that hated somebody else would do that. Now, does he somehow think you're an idiot? Does he somehow get very annoyed with you? Does he almost every single show want to poke you in the eye with a pin? Probably. And that's what makes Teddy very special, is that he puts up with your ass, Prez, because we all love you. You're my 4th or 5th favorite Canadian. I can't remember which one it is anymore, but either way, we all love you, and it makes me laugh. And guess what? Sorry, Teddy, but I was with Prez all week, and he did not give me COVID. So it sounds like we're going to need to boost that immune system up of yours.
Yeah, Teddy.
Yeah, my fault.
Anything to add to that, Theodore?
Theodore.
Kelly, let me tell you, say he's speechless. You're done.
I've
Kelly. Oh, you want to go? Go ahead.
I don't even know where to go. No. Let's talk some NBA.
So, Kelly, I just want to tell you, man, I have a few joys in life. Bothering my mother is the single biggest joy of my life. bothering Teddy is the second biggest joy of my life. And with my mother, I try to time it. Once a week, once every couple of weeks. With Teddy, it's daily, man. Like, bothering Teddy daily is something that gives me a lot of joy. Yes, Teddy?
Of course, we can tell, Prez. I mean, we love you, but I can tell. And I feel bad for your mom. Do not do that to your mom.
But the fact that is his second biggest joy in life, it's like, settle down.
I mean, he has like children. He has, a serious girlfriend. But his biggest joy is you.
Cal, let's talk fantasy football. You're in a league with Johnny.
Yep, we're fighting right now. Johnny sent me a K yesterday. A fucking K, Prez. And I know I'm not allowed to cuss on the WagerTalk shows, but so I sent him back an L, the next letter after K. Like K is like a sarcastic okay. So
I'm not
we
cool
were chatting.
To know that.
Oh, see, we're chatting. Oh, yeah, sure. No, Johnny and I agree on like 99% of things. Unlike you two, Johnny and I are like in lockstep with most things in life, right? And it was pretty funny because I suggested last year that we switch the league to Fab Money versus Waiver Wire, went back and forth. Johnny said, look, it's too close to the season to change it. We'll talk about it next year. So on social media, Joe Cata was about to cash big in a poker tournament. Johnny says, let's up the league to 10K instead of 5. And I said, fine, I'm all in. I'll chat with my partners, make sure it's okay with them. And everybody said, sure. And my partner wrote back, what about the Fab money? So I write back in the group chat, what about the Fab? It's too early to be talking about that, Kelly. What?
Okay.
Johnny Detroit, you just brought up we're going to change the money. Why is if it's not whatever? Anyway, so I put out a little poll on Twitter. I got some really good feedback.
Question. God, Johnny, why did you get me to ask that question? Anyway. Okay.
See, Fab is the only way to play.
Nothing.
But yes, I'm very excited for fantasy football. Very, always. It's a great league. Johnny does a good job with it. So excited for it. Okay. But the reason why he sent me K was because I said that I'd like to resend my vote and I'd like to keep the league maximum at 5K buy-in. And then he wrote back K because he said that the voting in the league has to be unanimous. So anyway.
So Kelly's in a high-stakes fantasy football league, but we're going to talk about some high-stakes NBA over the course of the next 2 nights. We have a pair of conference finals to break down. Kelly, let's start with the game 1 this evening, where the upstart Dallas Mavericks are battling the Golden State Warriors. Right now, looking at the WagerTalk Live odds screen, I'm seeing Golden State minus 5.5, total 214.5. Any opinion on game 1 tonight? Break it down for us.
This is really funny. I just got done doing Jay Money's show with him and Ski, and I was basically refereeing those two the whole time. And I said I wasn't going to pick a side. Look, Golden State absolutely should be the number 1 power-rated team. I think that they have earned that spot. That being said, I'm not sure I want to lay 5 with them tonight. And on the flip side, here's this Dallas team that frankly could not have looked any better in that game against Phoenix. I mean, they just absolutely dominated. So as far as the side goes, I am staying away. So that is exactly what I told those two guys. But I am going to be the contrarian per usual. Dallas's defense is really what's kept them in all these games so far in these playoffs. And frankly, that's where I'm going. I'm going with the 2 pretty solid defenses here. I think 214.5 is just a little too high. Now, I would love to get a no sweat under. The other night I had the under and looked great until 71 points in the fourth quarter. So let's hope that doesn't happen again tonight.
Yeah, I had fun with that under as well, Kelly. Just a quick follow here. We have seen a pretty sharp dichotomy from the Mavs in terms of their defensive numbers at home versus on the highway here in the postseason. Does that concern you at all when you're looking at game 1 under tonight? Dallas dominant defensively at home, on the highway, not nearly as much.
And that was something I did look at here, but this, again, is a Dallas team that has to be able to contain Steph Curry, and that's something they've done well all season long. They've won 3 of their last 4 against this team. Now, mind you, those games ended up going 2-2 in the total, but I think if Dallas's defense can contain Steph Curry, this one's going to go under the total.
Let's shift focus back to the Eastern Conference and talk about the Heat and the Celtics. Last night, Miami with the Game 1 win and covered. Game flew over the total, at least in part. I mean, the offensive execution was there, but the refs were whistling fouls last night, and they weren't letting either team defend. They want to defend, and we saw, more than 60 made free throws. When you have 60 made free throws in an NBA game, nothing correlates more with overs than made free throw attempts. So we saw that last night, Miami-Boston Game 1. We've seen an adjustment, both side and total, for Game 2, significant one. Miami was, as low as -1.5 yesterday. Now with Marcus Smart and Al Horford expected to be out, we're seeing the Heat -4 for Game 2. And the total's been adjusted upward. 204.5 yesterday. Now we're looking at 207.5, 208s for Game 2. Give me your thoughts on the Heat and the Celtics as they battle in a crucial Game 2 showdown tomorrow.
Yeah, Teddy, last night was great. Our producer, Joe Ranieri, texted me. He said, I like Celtics in the first half. A little overreaction here. Took that one. That was nice. But I had given out the over. And I thought after the first quarter, I was dead in the water, but you nailed it. Lots of whistles, lots of free throws really helped that total. I'm going to be really honest with you here. I don't want to touch this game as of yet. We know Al Horford was in COVID protocols. We know that Marcus Smart is still a question mark. My question is, and with the NBA testing policy and its ever-changing rules, when are we going to test the other Celtics players, and when are we going to know if they're playing? Because that's exactly what's going to happen here. And I am so glad. I did lean towards the Celtics last night, but boy, am I so glad I didn't pull the trigger. Our good friend CT Betts from the Hustle Show texted me a nice little screenshot with somebody that he was conversing with within the Celtics organization, and I think that there could be some more COVID positive tests pop up. So frankly, right now, I am staying away from this game until I can get some more information.
Kelly Stewart, everyone. Awesome stuff, Kel. Anything to promote? What's going on with you? You still doing making money show with Megan?
Yeah, we're doing money shots with Megan making money. We have a show in an hour and 14 minutes. That is what's going on. Just going to cruise. We're also going to do a hustle show every Wednesday through the NBA playoffs. Now that I'm back from vacation, I told the guys, hey, let's stay a little relevant. So Drew Martin Betts, Adam Trigger, Joe Ranieri, and CT Betts, who's not on WagerTalk yet, but he is an aspiring WagerTalk handicapper. We'll see if we can't get him there one day. We're going to do a show tonight, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, and we'll talk about these games as well. But you guys already kind of heard my thoughts on it. But maybe Chris can give us a little more insight into the Celtics organization. And then I've got a Super Contest weekend to plan with our friends over at the Westgate. With their Westgate Super Contest, we're going to have another WagerTalk meet and greet in Las Vegas. Looks like the dates are set, the 20th and 21st of August, but I'm working on that. I got to get a proposal over to our good friend John Murray. So I've got lots of stuff to do. Started working on NFL the other night, so got a busy summer ahead, Prez.
Awesome stuff. Kelly Stewart, everyone. Teddy Covers, yesterday we asked people to put some of their bad beat stories up in the chat. The one I picked to read is, this guy is seriously superstitious. Joey Skinner. Prez, I change my shirt numerous times when the team I'm on starts looking like they won't cover. I absolutely refuse to wear red. I'm an LSU fan. My wife is an Alabama fan. Red is terrible luck, although I guess it's not because Alabama is somewhat red and they have a lot of good luck. He goes on to talk about how he has a lucky urinal at the MGM. He also has to sit in a lucky spot on his couch. And when he's on a losing streak, he immediately takes a shower, which does beg the question, does he shower when he's on a winning streak? And how many games in a row constitutes a losing streak for that shower? Anyway, time for the daily presidential address, everyone. Okay, guys, as we spoke about, we're doing a new system with the daily presidential address. Every Monday, we're going to put aside, and I'm going to use $20. You can use whatever you want. And then we're going to roll it 5 times. We did win our first yesterday on Monday to allow us to roll into Tuesday, but we did lose yesterday. So the rollover program for the week is over. We're not going to start it again. We start it every Monday, and when we lose, it's over. So back to the regularly scheduled daily presidential address. Here are 2 hockey picks I am betting tonight. I have 2 hockey plays for my clients up at WagerTalk. One of those plays is the over in the Carolina game. So I'm giving that out here on the house. Take over in the Carolina game tonight. And my second play is over in the Edmonton game. Joe, I forgot to talk about that tweet. Put Teddy and I back on, and I'm happy to do it. If you want. Nope. Okay, well, one of our listeners wants to know what my thoughts are on the FUBU stock, Teddy. What's your opinions on company like FUBU as a stock to invest in? Want to back companies positioning themselves in the sports betting and sports television growth? Daryl, I really haven't studied FUBU or those companies, but I will tell you from a sports betting stock perspective, the stock I would buy is DraftKings. Teddy and I spoke about this last week, and the company's a mess. We understand that. Their stock has just been obliterated over the last 6 months. That's the time to buy. And we've seen their stock go up in the last 5 or 6 days. Other than that, I wouldn't touch the gambling stock right now because I think the entire industry is overvalued. We saw the same thing in the cannabis market. Teddy, that's it for me, my brother. I'm having a bagel and cream cheese today. I'm taking Carm out to Blue Bloods for steak tonight. I love you, whether you think I'm fine or not. Take us home.
Well, I'm glad you brought me in for that and threw right over to me for the question that you wanted to ask me about whatever the heck you were talking about that has nothing to do with sports. But that's going to wrap it for the Wednesday edition of WagerTalk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Stop. Don't buy that picks package or all access. Wait, what? Yep. Don't click add to cart until you check out our new deals page at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can find all the latest offers, promotions, and coupons available all in one place. These deals are updated daily and can be found by clicking deals in the nav at WagerTalk or Sports Memo, going to wt.buzz/deals, or scanning the QR code on your screen.